Hi there, it's Sandra with Brew City Thrifts. Today I'm at the Waukesha Goodwill, and it is a Friday after work on a holiday weekend, and I am so hoping they've put out a lot of fresh stock for this upcoming weekend. So let's get in there, let's hit it. Starting in an area with a lot of signs and wooden objects and wall hanging, etc. And I noticed this out of place, actually, little music box. It's got a cute little dancer on the inside. It looks vintage. It was made by a business called Owl Imports here in the Milwaukee area. Unfortunately, the music mechanism does not work. And while it's a nice little vintage piece, I usually won't pick up any music boxes that are not operational. Got lots of signs here. Then I noticed this little ceramic piece. It has some rhinoceroses etched into it, and it was likely made in Africa, and I put it aside for a moment. And then I noticed this piece, and I think this is really cool. It's a little bit beat up. It definitely has some age. I love the look of it, and I think it is a vintage wall hanging barometer. I think it's a barometer because it's talking about the weather: stormy, rain, fair, very dry. Now, I'm not sure how to tell if it's operational or not, but I think it's awfully interesting, so I do put it in my cart to think about it. On the next shelf over, I noticed this camel figurine. It is carved out of metal. It looks to be hand detailed, handmade. And while I think it might be part of a crush or a nativity scene, it also might be a standalone piece. And because I think it's got some really nice detail, I decided to take it. In the picture aisle, I grabbed this right off the top, and I think this is awesome. This looks like a mid-century piece. It is wooden, I guess kind of mosaic pieces put together on top of a felted background. It looks to be a band. You've got a bass player, a drummer, and I'm not sure what the instrument in the middle is, maybe xylophone. And anyway, I think this is super cool. If there wasn't damage, I would definitely pick that up. This is a fun item. This figurine, it looks like it's vintage. It looks 1970s-ish to me. Made by I think it says the Harry Company. They've got it priced up at $6.99 here at Goodwill. So someone must know something about these figurines that I don't. But I thought it was super fun. I also liked this. I think this is a hobbyist piece, but it's nicely painted. This little native Eskimo or Alaskan figure. And then down below here is a Demdaco willow tree trinket box. Some of these can go for good profit, but in this case I thought it was a little on the plain side. I also like this little sweetie pie mini pie plate. That was cute, and it can be used in the oven. It says so on the back. These are shelves full of candle holders, and the first one I pick up is this one that has a design that I thought might have been a dragonfly. It was a nice, heavy, chunky piece of glass. And just scanning quickly, I then noticed this bowl. Now this, I love this design. It's got a lot of bubbles on the rim. It has an ice bark design, and it also has bubbles on the underside. I've picked up a bowl like this previously and sold it, and it reminds me of Nordic glass. I'm not sure who the maker is, but I really love the design. So that little bowl is coming home with me. Scanning another shelf full of a lot of different candle holders, ceramics here mixed in among the glass. And actually here's a wall hanging made out of metal that I thought was kind of a nice design of ivy leaves or perhaps tree leaves. Took a quick look at that. Then I noticed this candle holder. It definitely has some age. I am not sure what the metal is. Obviously, it's a silver colored metal, but I love the design. I love the simplicity of this piece, actually. It's got a handle with a lovely Art Nouveau-ish curve. So I'm guessing it's early 20th century. It's not super heavyweight, but it still was something that I really was kind of drawn to. So I put it in my cart. On a green end cap, there was a vintage embossed glass bowl. They've got it for $9.99. I'm not sure who the maker is. I would guess maybe Indiana glass because of the thickness of the glass. It's a very pretty color and it definitely has some age, but it would be tough to ship. That's not the only reason I didn't pick it up. It just had some chippies on the edge and I just decided I wasn't in love with it, so I left it behind. But it was a nice piece, something I wanted to show you. Here among the planters and fake flowers, I noticed this BBP Bowman Brothers pottery mint jar. I picked up some of its siblings in a previous trip and they do go for, some of the singles can go for pretty decent prices, so I decided I'm going to take mint along with me as well. I always enjoy looking at the vases section at this store. We have a owl planter there, cute design. I thought this little succulent pot might be hand painted. I'm looking for succulent pots because I've sold a bunch. Then I noticed this vase and I love the yellow and white mottled glaze. The yellow's a real pale yellow. It did seem to have some age with some crazing. There was felt on the bottom. It was a decent thickness for the pottery, so I did put that in my cart. This would have been a winner. Look at that beautiful hand painting on this vase. I was going to guess Portuguese or Spanish pottery. On the bottom was a name. It could have been a place name or the artist's signature, but the item was just too damaged. Here we are among the china sets, and I first take a look at this pottery plate. It is World Market though, probably rather contemporary. Nice design, nice and simple. Then I saw these hand-painted lunch or salad plates. These are Noritake, the Folkestone pattern, hand-painted, like I said, very mid-century style. And next to them, another sort of mid-century vibes lunch plate. This is by a company called Premiere. They call it Durastone. That one wasn't too durable because there was chips in it, but the two plates beneath it were in very good condition, and I just love that design. It's kind of a maybe a splattered glazed design, or anyway, it's very cool, very mid-century to my eye, and I decided I was going to give those a shot. We're among the teapots, and I first noticed this one. It is ceramic. It's got a kind of a very heavy quality. It is, I think, maybe a hobbyist piece, but look at the style. It's so unusual and interesting. I also noticed this milk glass pitcher in the back. I thought it's a frosted glass pitcher with a hand-painted garland of yellow flowers. I thought that was cute. I'm thinking it's got some age, 1970s-ish. Took a quick look at it, but I did put it back on the shelf. Gilded pot there. We've got drip glaze pot there. Here is a little pink creamer. I love the design. If it had something, if it was a teapot, I might have taken that. And then this looks like a Spanish, maybe a Portuguese piece with a rooster, hand painted. I always like this section at this Goodwill store because they have a lot of serving ware, and a lot of times this is where I find the vintage stuff. So I'm noticing some salt and pepper shakers. This is maybe a little bit more contemporary, and I think those are transfer wear patterns. I'm always looking for hand painted items in this area. Unusual ceramics. That looks a little bit like Majolica. Down here is a fun looking mug with a fun graphic, but it is chipped on the bottom. Got a vintage covered sugar here, lidded sugar. Back here is a creamer. It looks to be vintage or maybe older. It's got an embossed design on it. Lots to look at here. Nothing that I decide to take with me though. I'm not often very impressed with the bagged items at the Goodwills that I frequent. Today I'm taking a look at a bunch of items that are mostly salt and pepper shakers, and this bag had what appeared to be little olive skewers or appetizer skewers. They were metal. They had snowmen on them, and I just thought they were very cool, and I thought those were something I could probably make some money on. And then I noticed this salt and pepper shaker set. It looks like mid-century-ish Japanese painted with windmill scenes. I just really liked the painting on these. They've got the cork stoppers, they're marked made in Japan, the gilded tops. And I think these are not uncommon, but in this case, it was really the painting that just drew my eye, and I decided I was going to give them a shot. So those went in my cart. In the bakeware area, I noticed this pan right on top. I suspected it might be Nordic Ware, and in fact, it was. So we're heading into the fall and into holiday season. It will be upon us before we know it, and I'm thinking this might be something that someone's gonna be looking for. So I put it in my cart. I noticed this vintage coffee grinder here. I'm looking at the style of it. It's got a drawer. It's got a little bit of burlap on the base there. I'm guessing 1970s wooden handle, etc. And these do surprisingly well, I think, on eBay. So I've sold one before, different style. I decide I am going to give this one a whirl too. I suspect one reason for the interest is the wide variety of spices that are available to us in contemporary times, because you can grind your spices with it too. Hey, it's cart review time. Here we are starting with the last item I put in the cart, which is the coffee grinder. It is, I'm going to guess, 1960s or 70s, most likely 70s. Underneath it is the Nordic Ware chocolate baking pan. I'm typically looking for the bunt pans, which bring a high profit for Nordic Ware, but in this case, that pan actually does pretty well on eBay. Next, we have the olive or appetizer skewers. There happens to be a little bottle, Christmas bottle stopper in there too, but I'm really interested mostly in those skewers. Then we have this BBP vintage 1990s era pottery mint jar. We've got the what I think is a barometer, a vintage wall hanging barometer. It looks like almost like it could be part of a nautical decor. Then we've got these Premiere 1970s or 60s plates, luncheon plates, which I think I love the design. Also, we've got the Japanese hand painted windmill salt and pepper shakers. We've got this sort of a Scandinavian style little glass bowl. I decided to put this vase back on the shelf. I love the glazed design. I think because of the amount of crazing and the weight of it, I felt like maybe the quality wasn't quite there. Then this metal camel figurine is going to come home with me. I'm going to put the candle back on the shelf. It's very nice, just a little bit on the plain side. So here you have it. This is today's haul. It's a variety of items, and thank you, Waukesha Goodwill. So that was fun. I would say that the shelves had been picked over. My sense was that people who do what I do and are looking for the kinds of items that I am looking for had pretty much gone through there already. I still got a few things I liked for sure. That last shelf with the Nordic Ware chocolate pan and the coffee grinder, those were nice last minute pickups, so I'm happy with that. I hope you had a good time. Like my channel, subscribe, and comment, and come back again. Thrift on, we will do this again.